Ramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnan Bande Jagadgurum. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the charming daughter, son of Devaki, the Guru of the world and the teacher of the whole universe. Om, peace, peace, peace. So we read the other day that our first incarnation, our incarnation came as boar, which is the causal boar, and he uplifted the whole earth by his task and saved the world. So hearing that, the Sukadeva said, O Vidura, who was wholly devoted to spiritual disciplines, was not satisfied by hearing Maitri's account of Srihari's incarnation as the causal boar, Varaha avatar, and therefore questioned him again with respectful salutation. This is chapter 14 of book number 3, chapter 14 and verse 1. So, then Sukadeva said, O great sage, who is the sage? Maitreya. O great sage Maitreya, we have understood from your account that Hiranyaksha, the first of all titans, Daitas, was destroyed by Srihari. Srihari, who is the embodiment of all Jagga, is called Sarva Jagga Mayo Hari, Jaggamurti. God is Jaggamurti, the embodiment of all the home affairs the people do. That result, end result of that Jagna is Lord Narayana. So, Narayana came down in the form of boar, that is the Varaha avatar incarnation, and to help preserve the good. So the task uplifted the whole earth. And what was the reason for such conflict between the Titan and Srihari? When a question coming, that we have understood from your account, O Vidura, that Hiranyaksha, the first of all titans, Daitas, was destroyed by Hari, who is the embodiment of all Jagnas. But what caused this fight? Why Hiranyaksha did this thing? So he said that was destroyed by Srihari, the embodiment of Jagna. What was the reason for such a conflict between the Titan, the Daita, and the Lord Srihari, who lifted the earth with his task as if in sport? So the Maitreya, then the sage was very pleased, and he congratulated this question and wanted to explain it. So Maitreya, then sage Maitreya said, I congratulate you, O Vidura, on putting this very good question, which relates to Lord Hari's incarnation, Narayana Avatara, by hearing account of which man is enabled to overcome the bondage of death, inflicting samsara. So by listening this, the people in the world who are under the ignorance, and their mind will be purified by hearing that glory of the Lord. Lord killed that Hiranyaksha, the devil, or they have translated not devil as titans, or Daitas. It was by hearing Sri Narada's this hymn of Srihari's attributes that the son of Uttanapada Dhruva was able, as it were, to kick away death and attained to the state of Lord Hari. So, hearing the glory which Sri Narada praised about Lord Narayana, hearing that, the Dhruva was able to get out of the cycle of birth and death, and he attained the state of in the plane of Srihari. His mind rose into the height. So now, this is a response from Maitreyi, the sage. Now, the verse number 6 to 28, these 22 verses, which are continually describing how the Diti and Aditi, they are the two daughters, no, of Brahma. So, Brahma created them first. So how Diti then approached the Kashyapa sage to have some progeny, because God gave him created to fill the world with his children. So how he approached, that description is now coming. It is simply, it's elaborated too much, with detail what happened. So about the subject on hand, there is a tradition which I have heard from Brahma when he narrated it to the gods. O Vidura, it seems Diti, the daughter of the Daksha Prajapati, desirous of progeny, and approached her husband Kashyapa. And at that time Kashyapa, the sage Kashyapa, was the husband of Diti, and Diti was the daughter of Daksha Prajapati. So he wanted some child, so he approached her husband. But then after that there is a total description, and the child was then, they have their child, but it was odd time, it was not a good time, that was the prayer time of the Kashyapa. All these odd time, odd situation, that's why Daitya was created. Major Hiranna Aksha. Hirannaksha, Hiranna Kashipu. Hiranna Aksha. Aksha means the eyes are Hiranna, like gold. So he says that in this way, Diti got the child out of Prajapati, out of Kashyap Rishi. Yeah. Anyhow, so that in that way, so the child was born. After that, I skip so many verses. This is those descriptions is too big. And because it was this approach of Diti to sage Kashyap is not in proper time and could not restrain herself, so there came some curse. So there are certain, just as an impure gold is purified by melting it in fire, men will, following the example, purify their minds and hearts by abandoning enmity and other passions. He whose manifestation this world is, he by pleasing whom this whole world is pleased, he, the Supreme Lord, the Self-Witness, will be immensely pleased with him because of his unswerving and one-pointed devotion. So, if one listening to this story gets devotion in the mind, so that will be, devotion will increase more and more for the Supreme Lord God. Great in his love of God, high-souled, large-hearted, greater than of all great men, that person will establish the divine in his heart and purify by practice of a wholehearted and one-pointed devotion, then he will be above body consciousness. So that way, thinking of God thinking of the Leela, of the power of God, then your heart will be purified and one-pointed and wholly devoted to God. And by that way he will lose his body consciousness. He will have no interest in the worldly enjoyments. He will be a seat of good habits and virtues. His joy will consist of seeing others happy and joyous. He will share in the sufferings of all. He will have no enemies. Just as the moon gives relief from the heat of summer, so will he be a source of relief for all the sufferers from the miseries of life. So this will be the characteristic of the person who is thinking like that. Now, Kashyapa said, this grandson of yours will behold within and without the lotus-eyed Lord, who is stainless, who assumes forms in consonance with the wise wishes of devotees, whose face is adorned with shining earrings, and who is the auspicious mark on the forehead of Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of auspiciousness. Maitreya said, Diti was overjoyed to hear that she would have a great devotee as her grandson, and being a high-minded lady, she took comfort in the knowledge that her two sons would meet their death at the hands of the Lord. So God will appear, and then these two children will be born. They will have the touch of God. They will die. That means, it is the idea that Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, so they will be killed by God. Because, and why all this episode? That is for purification of the heart of the devotees. People will listen and hear about the glory of God and God's glory manifesting to them. Now we move to 14th chapter, all these other descriptions we skip. Now we come to chapter 15th chapter. And 15th chapter talks about Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, the cars of the Kumaras. So what is this Kumaras' cars? Jai Vijay. Let us see what it says. So that is the chapter 15 we are starting now. Third book, chapter 15, verse number 1. I skipped many other verses. It is a repetition how they got the child and this and that. All this little description, there's not much interest for us. Maitreya said, afraid of the potential harm to the gods, devas, Diti bore for 100 years in herself that fetus of fierce potency derived from Kashyapa Prajapati and possessing a power of aggressive darkness that could efface any brilliance. That power of darkness put at naught the brilliance of the sun and the moon illumining the quarters, as also of the guardians of deities who complained about it to Brahma. The devas then complained, O all-pervading being, you know already of that darkness which has put us to fright. Nothing is hidden from you, whose knowledge is not limited by time. O God of gods, O supporter of the world, O thou the great creator, the master of all power holders, you know the thought of those who live in the past as also in those who are yet to come. So salutation to you, whose power is knowledge. You have assumed this form of power by your Maya. Salutation to you, who, taking on the quality of Rajas quality, has become the cause of the manifold world. No defeat overtakes perfect yogis, blessed by you. And having single-minded devotion to you, who interpenetrates the universe, who are both the cause and effect of the world, as well as the transcendental reality, and who promotes the welfare of the jivas, we salute you. We salute you, the superior of all beings, to whom all creatures offer their tributes of offering being pulled like a cattle by the nose string of the Vedic injunctions. So we salute you, it is glorification of the Lord. I salute you. So, O great one, owing to perpetual darkness caused by the fetus in Diti's womb, all Vedic rituals which are guided by the position of the sun have ceased to perform. So everything in the world has become full of darkness and things. So do something, O Lord, to save the world. We who seek shelter in you deserve your merciful consideration. So the gods were praying to Lord Narayana for their escape from this deep darkness. Now, the fetus begotten by Kasyapo in Diti is developing with ferocity of fire and fuel, spreading the gloom of apprehension all around. Now Maitreya said, verse number 11, page 210, O mighty armed one, Brahma, who was addressed by the gods, devas, replied with a smile to the devas in charming words. Brahma said, with this prayer of the gods, that Brahma responding. Brahma said, I have heard your prayers. Your elder brother, my mind-born son, who is called Sanaka, and the other who had abundant interest in worldly life from the start, could travel all over the universe through the sky. Once they went to Vaikuntha, the realm of Mahavishnu. So these four brothers are talking about Sanak, Sanandan, Sanat Kumar, Sanatana. So they didn't cooperate in propagating the creation. So they became monk, renunciate, and went around in the whole world. So they went to Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is the abode of where the Lord Narayana resides, his residential home, Vaikuntha. They returned to Mahavishnu and the realm of Mahavishnu, the great Lord, which is an object of adoration for all. All the residents of that realm resembling Mahavishnu himself, and that there everyone is so pure, they look like the Lord himself, because it's a higher plane of existence, no? The higher plane of existence, who can go? Whose mind becomes pure and tuned to that level of consciousness. So therefore, whoever is residing there, they look like, almost pure like Lord Krishna Narayana. Mahavishnu himself in appearance had attained to it as a result of the observance of the Bhagavata Dharma, that means code of devotional disciplines. The long time they prayed, they did mantra japa, they have chanted, they have done worship, all this ritualistic worship, they become pure and they have raised themselves and stay with the, and that is the concept that we also say, Rama Krishna Loka, Krishna Loka, Christ Loka, meaning these are planes of higher, finer levels of level where pure souls, by their purity of thinking and day and night of, someone is thinking in the form of God as in the form of, say, Durga, Mother Durga. So their mind becomes tuned into Durga consciousness. And then they, after death of this body, they get up and they remain in the Durga Loka, Krishna Loka, Rama Loka. These are all different planes.
What is Durga consciousness? Fighting with people?
Durga is there removing all obstacles. But you think of Durga, so you get the quality of Durga, Mother Durga.
That you will try to remove obstacles of others.
Others, not only that, when Mother wants, they will go and help you. He will send this a dualistic religion. You are not talking about absolute non-dualism. It is a question of dualism. In the dualism, the higher and higher, and God's different higher positions. And in this duality, there will be this creation will come and all this fight will come. So, and those who are in the world of duality, we are suffering. So what they do? Then these divine entities come and bless us and protect us like that. So anyhow, all the residents in the realm, on that realm, they look resembling like Mahavishnu himself, had attained to it, this state, as a result of the observance of the Bhagavata Dharma. No one can go to that plane unless they are practicing in their personal life the spirituality. They are meditating, they are praying like that. Huh? That's why it is said that as you think, so you become. You think of something holy, your heart becomes holy, and then your everything changes. Your character changes, your behavior changes. So, that is the Bhagavata Dharma without any self-centered motivation. They want to love God and then to be tuned to God consciousness. So they think of Vishnu, Narayana, and they become like Narayana, as it were. The Supreme Being, possessed of all powers and auspicious attributes, the embodiment of Dharma and the subject of revelation for the Vedas, abides there in the body of pure sattva quality without any touch of rajas for the blessings of his devotees. So it is believed that the Lord resides in that higher plane, and we call him as Mahavishnu. And he remains there, being possessed of all powers and auspicious attributes. Any sadhaka thinking of Lord Vishnu, Narayana, cultivating that quality. So he becomes pure, auspicious attribute comes in his life. They become the embodiment of dharma, righteousness. And the subject of revelation from the Vedas. All the Vedas come spontaneously from them. Abides in their body, and they live in the body, sattva quality. Rajas and tamas, they are for the lower planes, but that is a very pure sattva plane. There they went where spreads the woodland of Nisraya, liberation, full of wish-yielding trees, and then a description of the Vaikuntha Loka. What is the beauty of that plain? There will be some forest, and that forest made of trees. What type of trees? This type of trees in our material plane, mango tree gives some sweet mango, or some fruits trees, and some gives shade, some gives firewood, some gives sandalwood. But in heaven, this concept of the heaven, they are giving some concept of heaven. There, the full of wish-yielding tree. There are trees, you just say whatever, wish anything, and it will be happening. Ramakrishna was wish-yielding tree, and the January 1 is coming, because that day whoever came to Ramakrishna and asked whatever, they got their own desired illumination. So, in the heaven, full of wish-yielding tree. You just go and say anything and you get it. And over in blossom, as if they were the state of moksha, taken shape, as if it is a liberation. Liberation means what? I want something and there is an obstacle, but for them there is no obstacle. Because of their practice, they went to the higher plane, Vishnu Loka, and they are satisfied with everything, because whatever they want, they get it. But here, you want something, you have to work hard. And even if you work, you may get or may not get. But the glory of the Vaikuntha Loka is that whatever you wish, it comes true. There move about devotees in aerial vehicles. They work in plane. Aerial vehicle means which floats in the air. They have their vehicle. Our vehicle works. Of course, now we can also move in the airspace by your airplanes. So, but in the Vaikuntha Loka, they don't have to make much effort. They can go from one corner of the other corner by air vehicles with their family members, fanned by the winds which bear the stimulating fragrance of flowers blooming on the surface of the lakes. Beautiful lake, flower blooming. Description of the, what is called the heaven. Heaven description. Not ordinary heaven, heaven of Lord Vishnu, in which Lord Vishnu stays in that plane. Though the environment is sufficient to stimulate the passions in the heart, these devotees are oblivious of all that in their absorption in the singing devotional hymns about their Lord. Though they can satisfy all the physical needs or these sensual desires can be fulfilled, but their mind is so pure, being in that plane, they enjoy very much. They are to listen to the glory of the Lord. They are singing of the glories of Lord, the stotras, chanting, prayer, Vedic mantras, they prefer those type of practice. That's when the hovering bee makes its loud and sonorous sound. A beautiful idea. Oh, there are hovering bees making some humming noise, no? As if it were singing the glory of God. And now the bees are not only humming, but through their humming they are singing the glory of the Lord Narayana, Lord's glory. Even the humming bees are also chanting the name of God. Think about that. The chirping of the numerous birds, the pigeons, the cuckoos, the crane, the chakravako, these are different varieties of birds, chataka, the swan, the parrot, the peacock, and the partridge stop for a while as if they were all attending to the bees' devotional hymns. So everyone is listening to glory of God. That means it's a description. Vishnu Loka is a description that there only all auspiciousness is there. All praise for God is going on. And the devotees who like to live in that consciousness after death, they go into that plane. It becomes congenial. You go to a place where everyone is singing the glories of God, you will also feel like doing like that, no?
But it is in your mind, like Shraddhananda Swami said that tree is meditating, taking, doing japa, my pillow is doing japa, my bed is doing
Anyhow, it is in the mind. Of course it is in the mind. Mostly all these experiences are where? Ramakrishna is seeing all these things. What is happening? In his mind he is seeing. If it's like in the gross, I would have seen all the priests who are challenging Ramakrishna in the Dakshineshwar, they won't do if they have seen Mother Kali like Ramakrishna. But Ramakrishna is seeing, not we. Even now, there may be some people who are seeing God. But I don't see. I see the material thing. It is only in the mind. Which mind? That pure mind. That how the purity came. You think of God, listen to the glories, do japa, prayer, worship. So he's saying the bees are humming, all the birds and others, they are stopped there and listening to the whole glory of the Lord, as it were, to the humming sound of the bees. It's very poetic. Sanskrit, if we go, that will be much more poetic. This poetry, great poetry. And poetry and other things are what? One simple point, you can make it a book. Ha ha ha, how good your eyes, how good your ear, how nose is beautiful, how your eyebrows are like that, how your hair is like that, how your hand is like that. All description just to keep the mind around the holy divine Lord. So there are numerous varieties of sweet-scented garden flowers, subordinate themselves to the holiness of the tulasi leaves. In the Vaishnava literature, they consider tulasi leaf is the holiest of the holy. Why? Tulasi leaf is loved by the Lord Narayana. So, in the heaven, the numerous varieties of sweet-scented garden flowers are there. Any garden you get, all scented flowers. Here we have beautiful, Los Angeles is good for flowers. Or what you call the rose, we have many roses. But when you get the roses, no fragrance. But in heaven, it's all full of fragrant roses, of varieties of roses. But tulasi leaf is its fragrance is divine fragrance. So it subordinates the other fragrance. Though the latter be of unrefined fragrance, seeing that they found favor with the Lord who has given wrath made of most important places of his decoration. There is the place was covered with a vast number of golden pavilions studded with precious gems of various kinds, residence which could be had to nothing but devotion to the fill of his Srihari. The devotees' residence there, with their mind immersed in the Krishna, was insensitive to the exquisite charm of the large number of beauties presented there. So there are so much beautiful thing around in the heaven, but the devotees who are there, to those who have after death have gone there in a subtle body, they live there. Actually after death they go to heaven, no? Physically no one goes to heaven. So because whole life they have thought of God, their mind becomes so pure. So when they die at the point of death, according to that, they live in that mental plane. And that they are describing that mental plane. That is the heaven. And here it is said the devotees resident there with their mind immersed in Krishna. Why? These devotees, no one can go there unless they are pure. Unless they are sattika quality people. Rajas quality, tamas quality will live in another area, no? A person of activity, tremendous activity. Can you put him to sit down for meditation? It is not, that plane will not suit his nature. So he will be another plane. But if the devotees are there, they are contemplative, they are prayerful, they enjoy the glories of the Lord. They can see the humming sound of God's name in the bees. And tulasi leaf is more powerful than your fragrant flowers. All these types of description to glorify that they become sattika. That sattika, pure sattika people, they only can live in that higher plane. Therefore, reflected on its, and there all gem-studded things, because it is Lord himself. He lives in his palace. You go to a king's palace, what do you see? King's seat, no? It will be gorgeous, it will be all costly, jewel and pearl and this and that. So, therefore, reflected on the crystal walls, lined with gold, could be seen the unique figure of Sri Devi, as if she were sweeping the floor with the play lotus held in their extended arms, while she moves about, producing the murmuring sound of the anklets of her feet. And this is the Sri for whose grace all gods and men live. There in the heaven, Mada Lakshmi, Sri, the Lakshmi, she alone resides there. And she is sweeping the floor with golden or gem-studded brooms. This example of all what people aspire here. And there it is spontaneously everywhere. On the banks of the coral-bedded lakes with sparkling and cool water, Sri Devi, the Mother Lakshmi, which worshipping the Lord's image with tulsi leaf, and this mother is worshipping with tulsi leaf at the feet of the Lord. And this is so gorgeous, but it is nothing. Tulsi leaf is much important and costly there, which is the symbol of devotion. Finds in these waters the reflection of our own face with high nose and curly locks, alaka, and realizes that it is the kiss of the Lord that has imparted all this beauty to her face. So the Lord has kissed Mother Lakshmi, and her beauty is so big, and she can see in the lake water. All these descriptions of glorifying the greatness of the plain, which is called the Narayana plain. This exquisite place, go the devotees of the Supreme Being. To this exquisite place go the devotees of the Supreme Being, the pure and immortal ones who have overcome the sway of Jama. When we die, Jama takes us to the ground. Hey, come to the prison, come to the hell. But because they have taken shelter in God, after death, Jama went but left them. Okay, let them go to heaven. Because they have taken the holy name of God, they have become purified so much, they have become so much sattvika. So the Jama, the god of death, does not touch them. So they are the people who have escaped death, Jama. So to this exquisite place go only these devotees who have the Supreme Being, devotees of the Supreme Being. They are pure and immortal ones who have overcome the sway of Jama, the god of death, and attained to a state. They have attained by that way, they have attained to a higher state and then mine. Mine means here who is talking about? Maitreya is talking. But they have reached a state, even I am a sage, they have reached higher state than me. Their eyes streamed with tears and their bodies are covered with horripilations owing to the overpowering emotions that well up in them as they converse among themselves about the deeds and excellences of the Lord. They say that when these residents of the Vishnu Loka, Vaikuntha, the Krishna's plane, what happens? Their eyes, these devotees, they don't want anything else but love for God. So therefore, their eyes streams with tears and their body gets covered with horripilation. All joy, joy, joy. Out of what? Because owing to the overpowering emotions, by taking the name of Lord, listening to His glory, they get so much excited due to high spiritual emotions. They well up them as they converse among themselves. When they talk about God within each other. Think about that. What situation is created when Ramakrishna used to say, converse with, Vivekananda. Ramakrishna talking to the highly evolved sadhus who come and visit. So that environment like that in the heaven, these people who have done so much good karma and escape the jaws of death, they go into the higher plane and live in that plane with their Lord Narayana. And there, when they talk about God, their tears roll down in the cheeks. Their whole body becomes joy, full of joy. Hair stand erect out of joy. Whole body thrilled with joy. When they are talking about God, so much excitement, so much peace comes in their mind. Now what happened? Now the story is coming. The obstruction of the Kumaras by the gatekeepers. You know that story. A simple story is this, but it will talk over pages and pages, that description. Simple story is that these two guys, who? Joy and Vijay. They are the guards. in the palace of the Lord Narayana, no? You want to go to meet the president of this country. Can you go straight to president's room? You have to make appointment and then they get the permission and the gatekeeper then someone will come, take you and then you go inside. Huh? But these 4 Rishi Kumars, 4 sages, Shuka, Sanandan, Sanat Kumar, Sanatana, Brahma created this 4 very highly noble souls. And they did not, Brahma said, okay, go and create the world, progeny, because this world is to be filled with people. Then he said, no sir, I cannot do. And they renounced and left. And these people, but they wanted to go to see their Narayana. And then when they went to Narayana, these 2 bodyguards, the guards were in the gate, and saw that 4 small boys have come, and they suddenly say, we want to see the Lord Narayana. Allow us to go. Well, no, you cannot go. You have no permission. And then once she requested, why not? We are coming from such and you tell our names, then Narayana will allow me. But the 2 strong guards, sometimes it happens, no? You go to see somebody, their bodyguards will make you a difficult time for entering into the room itself. No, it happens, everywhere it happens. So, and then they, with much request, once, twice, thrice, they are not allowing. Jaya and Vijaya, the bodyguard says, no, it is not. Lord is not asking anybody to get in now. You come some other time, go. And they got angry. And they cursed, what? Huh? You are obstructing me to go to Narayana? I curse you. And curse you? Wow. But when the curse came from these 4 sages, eternally free soul, they are ever free, they are never bound into the ignorance, Maya, Utita. Then he got frightened. Jaya and Vijaya, they went to their Lord, Narayana, and said, 2 poor boys have come, their name is this. They are naked boys, small boys. There is nothing in their position, but they say they will meet you. And we said no. And then he got mad and he cursed me that you will have to go to be born in this earth again. And God will come later on. So he have cursed me that I will be dethroned from the heaven. I will have to go to the earth. And then Narayana, hearing the name, he immediately ran. And what did you do? They are the greatest devotees. You have stopped them coming. And then went and greeted them and brought him. And this Jaya and Vijaya, they are stunned. What is the matter going on? Huh? So Lord is so gracious, and he himself ran to receive them and brought them back. And then this Jaya and Vijaya, the bodyguards, those guards, they requested the Lord, oh Lord, please forgive me. They are, stop this curse. I don't want to leave you. I want to be always serving you in the heaven. No? And I have been cursed to go to the earthly plane. Please do something. And Lord Narayana said, I cannot do anything. You have disturbed my devotee. You go and beg pardon from them. If they excuse you, then you will be freed. Then they fell at the feet of these 2 big guard of the palace. They fell at the feet of these 4 boys and begged their apology. But he said, no. Yeah, what I have said, it cannot be undone, because established on the truth. Those who are established in the truth, whatever they say, that becomes true. So it cannot be changed. So this is the condition. Okay, then ask for some boon. Then they say, okay, if there is no other way, then I can go, we will go, but the Lord will have to come. Make it such that I don't forget God at any point of time. Even I go anywhere, I go to the hell, you go to the earth, you live some ordinary life, give this boon that I don't forget God for a moment. So they are then became the Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. In one incarnation, 3 incarnations.
No, if you say you born as a bhakta, 7 life.
Ah,
If you born as a asura,
ah,
3 times.
3 times.
So Ravan, Kumkara,
Ravana and Kumbhakarna.
and Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu,
Ah.
and other is Shishupal.
Shishupal and Kangsha. So these are the 3 times, Baba, what a punishment, no? For one minor mistake. So it is better, don't go to heaven. If you do little mistake, then punishment is much more.
No, more than that.
More than here.
No. Not to, going heaven is not the problem. To be in protection of a holy person
Ah,
is the problem.
be very careful.
You have to get cards from all the devotees. You are doing the good job and people are getting angry.
Right, so don't be there. Yes, true. Then the poor guy, they only said, "Are the Lord is resting, this is not the time, come later on." And then they cursed him. And that he has to come 3 times, born in the world as a demon, because in a demon body, he's always thinking, God will kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me. So you are remembering, whom you remember most? Whom you love? Whom you love, you may remember, may not remember. But if you get a notice that I will kill you with a gun, and someone is always searching for me, then you will think of the person more who is your, not the person who loves you. He may forget now and then and that. But he who is enemy, you cannot forget your enemy. No. When someone said that your head is declared, suppose that, think of the person whose head is declared that I want that body, head, live or alive or dead, no? For $1 million. Then what will happen? Who is coming around me all the time? I will say, oh my God, he's going to kill me, he's going to kill me, he's going to kill me. So it is here it is God. So you think of God. That means not a moment you forget. So that is the major theme which is coming here. There they make the one-line story, about 10, 20 pages with verses, 100 verses, and all descriptions. Our time is another 5-10 minutes, then let me read. Question? With this, my God. I want to finish the book. So today I have also read 10 pages today, because we skipped all this description, detailed description. And we are not in the same age, We live in the 21st century. So the situation, the illustrations, the incidents are different. To relate to that background, it takes little time to consume. So observation of the Kumaras by the gatekeepers. So as I said, gatekeepers, what they did, I'll quickly read the lines. By their spiritual power, the Kumaras means 4 Kumaras, Brahma created them out of the mind born. As we say, Brahmananda is the mind born child of Ramakrishna. No, it has nothing to do with the physical, but he mentally created them, these pure souls. What are the 4? Brahma created this Sukadeva, Suka, Sanat Kumara, Sanatana, and Sanandana. All Sa. 4 names start with Sa. He created this 4 ever pure, ever stainless spiritual entity in the human form. And they roam around anywhere in the world for the good of the world, and they didn't enter into the life into the world for creating the progeny and others. So they are free soul. So these 4 free souls, by their spiritual power of Kumaras, with the mind brimming with joy, once they arrived in the Mahavishnu's realm, in the Vaikuntha Loka. Imagine, they can move anywhere. So once they thought, let us go to see the Lord Mahavishnu. No? They have pass, as American passport. You can go to many countries. You don't need any visa. No? So these 4 sages have the world pass. So wherever they go, no one stops them. So they're invincible, their movement and everything. So Mahavishnu's realm, they went to Mahavishnu's realm, which being above all material spheres, that's the concept of Krishna Loka, Rama Krishna Loka, is beyond the material plane. Material plane you can get earthly enjoyment, finer enjoyments and longevity of life. You may live hundreds of years with full youth, all these different planes. But it is beyond that, a purer realm. Outshining all these spheres, which is filled with mansions of numerous divine beings, and which is a unique wonder compelling the adoration of all. So the Narayana Loka is like that, and these 4 Rishi Kumaras, mind-born child of Brahma, they all plan to go there. The Kumaras quickly crossed the first 6 gates of Vaikuntha. There are 6 gates of Vaikuntha. Maybe some philosophical meaning is there. Maybe 6 gates of Vaikuntha is what? 6 plane of consciousness. They easily went through that. When they reached the 7th is here, there you meet the Lord. They found there are 2 handsome divine beings of the same age, 2 gods, looking at the same age and form, armed with mace and bedecked with valuable ornaments like armbands and fish market earrings, etc. Entwining their bodies and resting on their chest between their 4 bluish arms was a massive wreath of tulsi leaves, whose fragrance invited numbers of honeybees to hover about. Here is beautiful description that they thought honey is a very great thing. So honeybees are there and they are hovering around the tulsi leaf. You have seen tulsi plant? They are hovering around the tulsi seeds and to suck some honey from there. Their face bore a somewhat angry look, as indicated by their arching brows, quick breath, distended nostrils, and reddish eyes. Just as they passed through the 6 gates made of gold and diamond, these sages, the 4 sages, who were established in even-sightedness and accustomed to travel everywhere unobstructed, entered the 7th gate also without taking any permission while the 2 divine personages were looking on. So their access is everywhere. No one can stop them because they are pure and they are for the good of the world. So they all went to the 6th plane and then 7th. And these 2 stout, strong, good-looking guards, they saw these 4 boys. These 4 Kumaras wore no dress. The ancient, they looked like boys of 5 years. They looked like a child of 5 years. So Ramakrishna also sometimes, he has no concern of the cloth. But he used to look like a child of 5, innocent child. So these 4 Rishi Kumaras are like that. They are so pure, then they are beyond body consciousness. They were personages established in the knowledge of Atman. Seeing them entering the gates, these gatekeepers, 7th here, these gatekeepers, obstructed them with their words and batons and mocked at their prowess. Although these sages were persons worthy of respect, and although such conduct towards them was contrary to the attitude of the Lord towards the devotees. So these two guards may become more powerful. Say, what you are going? Where are you going? Stop! Yeah, naturally it is his duty also, of course. But they could be very humble because they live in that higher plane. Means your mind should be soft, mind should be kind. Actually, you know how to behave with people, no? And there are ordinary people cannot go. They are highly elevated spiritual personalities, and they behaved strongly and rough uses of their tongue maybe. When the gatekeepers of the Lord thus blocked their way in front of the devas, there the ascetics, who were worthy of highest respect, felt frustrated and angry at the obstacle put in their way of seeing their dear Lord, and spoke with an agitated look. So then the curse came from the four sages. That will be the next day's reading. That will be from 32. So we will be reading next day this third book, book number 3, 3.15.32 verse. So we have read about 100 verse maybe today. Do you understand? I have read today about 100 verses. Skipped so many things. So this is the point that now we'll hear what Kumaras, the sages, how they respond to the angry guards, and how the curse came, and then what Mahavishnu, the Lord, came and tried. He was in between. They are great devotees, they are cursing. They should be, their words cannot go wrong.
That created the foundation of two epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata.
That's true. That created the two epics. Ramayana and then Kumbhakarna and Ravana, they had to be killed. That's one time it happened, no? This whole episode of bringing Rama, Sita in the world, and Kangsho, Shishupal, Kangsho.
No. Pondra, 3.
And one was the other one.
So just like he behaved like a Krishna, Pondra. I pronounced wrong.
Now, what is the question? So we end here, the reading. As I said, we ended on page number 212 and verse number 3.15.31. Okay, what question?
The probable answer here. This is my writing.
Okay. Okay. What happens if someone worships, for example, both Ramakrishna and Ma Durga? Which loka would they go? Ramakrishna loka or Durga loka? Also, do these different lokas talk to each other? Lokas talk to each other. Lokas. Actually, I do not know this response, where they will go. But I think that as we may have two targets, we are going two holy places to visit, no? And then when you are driving, you think that, oh, I will go to Jairambati first. Jairambati and Kamarpukur, those two places, where the holy place of, birthplace of Holy Mother Saroda Devi and the birthplace of Ramakrishna. So when you are starting for your journey, Ramakrishna I like also, I also like Holy Mother. Okay, so where shall I go first? Then your strong desire will tell you where you stop first. Both are holy places, in the plane of duality, realm of duality. According to Vedanta, bring Vedanta here. Whatever you call Mother Durga, Kali, Shiva, Christ, Buddha, Rama, Krishna, these are different planes. But what is that plane? It's a pure mental plane. They are only pure sattvika quality people can keep their mind in that plane. So where will you go? They are all the expression of one Brahman. So you start with duality, you end in oneness. So, and so long you are in duality level, there is Jairambati separate, there is Kamarpukur separate. But if you really go to the foundation, who is Ramakrishna, who is the Mother Shakti, Holy Mother, they are only one absolute Satchidananda and its power, no? So either in the expression or non-expression, it is the one. So if you want in the duality level, you will go, okay, I will go first to Kamarpukur. Okay, you will visit that Kamarpukur. Then your desire will say, I will go to Jayanambati now. Go in the plane of duality. But in your thinking here, Ramakrishna is Satchidananda and Mother Sarvada is also an embodiment of that consciousness manifested. But she is actually Brahman. So you go the same. Absolute is the one. Whether you go through this way or that way, it does not make any difference. Okay? Thank you. Hey, this is done? Ba. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So we will be meeting you again 7:30 for our Shanti Gita class. We are almost coming to an end of that. But there are so many verses, very beautiful verses. Still, I was thinking that we can start another book from January. But probably it will take another January also. January also will take it. We can finish any book any time, it does not matter. If we quickly, as I finished 100 verses. That type of reading I can do also. But if we want to know, just enjoy the reading, we should have to do Mahatma. And moreover, our next 18th, next Sunday, is Holy Mother's birthday. Those who are online and those who are present here, if you can come for the Mother's puja, worship. Okay, Jai Ma. Thank you.